It began with the bells. Not the bright chime of sleigh bells or the innocent ring of Christmas cheer, but something heavier, like a rusted iron dragging through frost. Claire heard them first on the night her father died. The wind outside her Bavarian cottage had been cruel, slicing through the shutters, howling like a thing alive. She thought it was just grief playing tricks on her. How the mind can conjure echoes to fill a silence too vast to bear. But then she heard the scraping. It came from the woods that bordered her home, where the pine trees grew in tightly wound clusters, and the snow fell thick enough to hide footprints within minutes. A dragging sound, rhythmic and deliberate, like something pulling a chain through frozen dirt. Claire stood by the window, pale candlelight trembling in her hand, and saw movement between the trees. A figure, tall, broad, impossibly black against the white world. For an instant it looked like a man. Then it bent in a way no man could. A long, jointed limb clawed the snow. Horns caught the moonlight. Her breath clouded the glass. The old stories came rushing back, ones her grandmother whispered when the fire burned low. About Krampus, the beast that followed Saint Nicholas, the shadow that punished what the light forgave. As a child, Claire had laughed, hiding her nervousness behind that thin armor of reason. But now, watching the thing in the trees tilt its head toward her window, she felt that ancient terror rise again, thick and hot in her throat. She told herself it was grief, exhaustion, hallucination. But when she woke the next morning, the candle she'd left by the window was gone, melted into a puddle of wax shaped like a hoof print. That winter crawled by, slow and endless. Her father's funeral was quiet, the villagers whispering about the strange noises from the woods. Some said they'd seen something too. Just shadows, perhaps, but they crossed themselves all the same. Claire tried to dismiss it. She buried herself in routine, tending the fire, mending her clothes, reading her father's Bible aloud just to hear a human voice. Yet every night she felt watched. It wasn't paranoia, it was presence. The bells would start softly, like a lullaby under the floorboards, then rise in a steady, metallic rhythm. The sound seemed to come from everywhere: the hearth, the cellar, even the air itself. When she dared to look outside, there would be no figure waiting, only deep prints in the snow, larger than any man's, leading to her door, but never away. One night, unable to bear the tension any longer, she opened the door. The cold hit her like a blade. The woods loomed silent, no sound but the wind sighing through skeletal branches. But she could feel it, something old and hateful, crouching just beyond the reach of her candlelight. "Show yourself," she whispered, her breath trembling. The woods answered. Chains rattled, the ground shuddered, and then he emerged. Krampus was not a creature of the earth, but something older than it. His fur was blacker than the void between stars, his eyes burning like twin coals deep within a skull that was neither goat nor man. From his shoulders hung the bones of the wicked, strung together with wire and sinew. He smelled of ash and winter and things long buried. He regarded Claire with something that might have been curiosity or hunger. "You're not a child," the thing rasped, voice like stones grinding together. "No," she said, though her body wanted to flee. "Then why do you tremble?" She tried to speak, but her words failed. The creature leaned closer, chains dragging, claws digging into the frozen soil. "You fear the stories," it said. but stories fear me. For a long moment, they stared at one another. She thought she saw something flicker behind his monstrous form. Shapes of faces twisted in agony, whispering through the steam of his breath. "My father," she began. "Did you—" Krampus smiled, a slow, daring stretch of his mouth. "I come for those the world forgets," he said, "and for those who forget themselves." The candle's flame faltered. When she blinked, he was gone. By morning, the prints were gone too. Only a single bell remained on the doorstep, blackened and cold. The villagers found her days later, seated by the hearth, eyes open, expression strangely calm. They said she'd frozen in her sleep. But when they lifted her body, they found the floor beneath her scorched in the shape of a hoof print, identical to the wax that had first appeared by her window. And that night, when the wind carried through the valley, the bells returned. They say, if you stand in the snow and listen closely, you can still hear them dragging through the dark, heavy, patient searching for those who have forgotten themselves, just as Claire did.